I want to talk about if you want to become productive, then you have to get the basics right. And what are the basics? The basics are things that you repeat on a daily basis, and they are simple things, but they are the basis of everything else that you do. And the basics are that you stop eating around about 7 o'clock. If you're going to go to bed about 10, then really you shouldn't be eating close to your bed. So come 7 o'clock, you should really stop eating. And the same thing it goes for when you get up in the morning, then really you should skip your breakfast and have your breakfast at about, say, 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock. So what you're trying to do is to narrow the time that you eat. So then the narrower it is, the better. And eventually you can reduce it until you just end up with one meal. Say around about 5 o'clock, just one meal per day. That will actually look after you. It will actually allow you to live longer. In between, you can drink things like green teas, and you can eat fruit or vegetables, but one cooked meal during the day. So to start off with, just skip your breakfast and have it at about 12 o'clock, and do not eat after 7. Very, very important. And now you can take your supplements. You can take anything you want in the morning and in the evening, and it will not conflict with other stuff. You can drink lots of water. You see, the moment you eat, you can't drink water, and drinking water is so important. You have to keep your body very, very well hydrated. So if you stick to that routine, then you can drink lots of water, and you can put minerals in it and all kinds of things in it. So stick to the basics. The other thing is to develop a cast iron discipline, absolutely cast iron discipline, that you go to bed no longer than 10 o'clock. If you're going to stay up, then really no longer than 11 o'clock. You have to go to bed at a time earlier than 12 o'clock, because that time, 1 hour before 12 o'clock, 1 hour after 12 o'clock, is so incredibly important, because that's when your brain is actually doing some housekeeping. So technically, during those 2 hours, you are dead. And that is so very, very important. Otherwise, you will actually compromise the quality of your mental health if you don't do that. Say you go to bed at 10 o'clock, then you get up at 5. The moment the alarm goes off, you do not allow the bed sheets to wrap around your ankles and pull you back into bed. The moment the alarm goes off, you get out of bed, Geronimo style, and then you meditate. This is very important. You meditate for an hour. And when you meditate, you slow down your brain. Your brain is already pretty slow in the morning. 1 hour will pass like nobody's business. If you meditate, it will seem like if it's a couple of minutes. And you concentrate on the outcome. You concentrate on the things you got to be grateful for, but you concentrate on what you want rather than how you're going to get there. Never ever concentrate on the procedure. The procedure always sorts itself out. And you know that you're in a trance when you're thinking about the outcome. The moment you start thinking about the procedure of how you're going to get there, it means that you can't gone out of your trance. So learn how to meditate on a regular basis. And then say at 6 o'clock, you stop that, and then you can go do some exercise, clean your teeth, and so on and so forth. But the other discipline, if you want to do something productive, is to do everything in 2-hour chunks throughout the day. In between the 2-hour chunks, you can have a little break, do something else. But 2-hour chunks is a good way to discipline yourself to spend time on what you're trying to build, what you're trying to do. But you break the 2-hour chunks into 30 minutes, because you can't work for 2 hours, because your brain will basically slow down. So every 30 minutes, you take a 5-minute break, and that will keep your brain working at its optimum level. And in those 2-hour chunks, and you can have a little break in between, like half an hour or what have you, you add at least 4 of those throughout the day. 5 if you can, 6 even better, but at least 4. That will give you 8 hours of study work per day. If you do that on a regular basis, just get the basics right, you'll find that everything else will follow suit. So that's the lesson for today.